Good morning, Forest Park. Today is March 5th, 2025. I'm Don Jones. I'm the city manager here in the city of Forest Park. Welcome to our show, Off the Cuff, where we try and get some information out to the city. Let's get started with a quick shout out to our Winton Woods Lady Warriors on their undefeated regular season, 25-0, and becoming the regional champions here in the state of Ohio. They won the state Final Four. Game is coming up on Sunday, March 9th against Big Walnut, so we wish them all the luck. And, if you can get out to that game, let's get out there and support our Lady Warriors. The Winton Woods boys varsity captured its first district championship since 2011, so that's great in and of itself. Hopefully everybody will make it to the Final Four and to the finals and get us a state championship here. Also, we have our citywide yard sale that's coming up. Early registration has begun. For more information, check our city website. Also, park rentals have begun as well. The parks rental system has started March 1st. They're officially open. The park's officially open on April the 1st. So if you're looking to rent a shelter or a park place somewhere in our parks, get out there. They fill up quick. It's all online. Visit our website. Again, that's already started, effective March 1st. Quick update about our most recent council meeting. At the most recent council meeting, we had a mall action, one of the first ones of several that will be going forward here to get the mall redeveloped. The city council passed the zoning at the most recent council meeting. So the zoning's been passed to allow it to move forward, but there's still a lot of other moving parts to this and a lot of other throughout that we're going to have to get done. We're looking to form a theater group here in the community. It'll be community-led, but we'll have more information on our website. We're just trying to get interested people to take hold of it and run with it. And let's form if there's enough interest, to form a local theater group just for the citizens. And finally, last announcement, we are working on our economic development plan, which will be a 10 to 20 year plan that we're coming up with here in the city of Forest Park. And we're looking for anyone of interest that would like to participate in this process. We're looking to the point where we're looking for focus groups. So anybody in the community that would like to participate in these focus groups are going to be at the end of March, first week of April. Please give us a call here. We'll make you a part of it. And we look forward to anybody who has any interest in this, and we're going to move this economic development plan forward. But again, we're here to the point where we're getting public input from the citizens who live here about ideas and ways that they think that we should incorporate into this plan to help the city with its economic development planning moving forward. So let's get on with our program here today. And we have Wright Gwyn, who's our head of our economic development department. Both of them begin with A, but we have Wright Gwyn here today, who's from our environmental department. Right. And we welcome him. This is your first time, right? To Off the Cuff. And I'm sure we'll drag you back out and make you come a few more times. But let's get started with a few of the things that your department really does for the city. You can give us an overview, some of the programs you have coming up. And importantly, let's talk about energy aggregation too when we get there. So, Wright, give us a quick update on some of the things that are going on in your department.
Okay, there are a couple things that people need to be aware of right now, because if they're interested in it, they're going to have to register. Okay, so the first thing is, and we just put this out on our emails, on Facebook, and on Nextdoor, we are opening up, we used to have what we call a day camp scholarship program. And this was for kids going to the zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, or any of the great parks of Hamilton County. And we would pay a subsidy. We would pay 50% of the cost for a child to go to one of these day camps.
Nice summer program that the city helps fund.
Right. The kids aren't in school anymore. This is an opportunity. These are very important organizations. They know their stuff, and these kids could learn a great deal.
Get them out of the house and
it's fun.
Yeah.
They're a great. There's a great program. But we've opened it up. We've opened it up to just individuals, groups if they want to go, or whole families. Everyone gets one shot at going to these organizations. All they have to do is go to their site, try to find some kind of a program that they're interested in, sign up, go ahead and pay. This is a reimbursement kind of a program. And then once they do that, then they go to my website, they print off the scholarship application form, fill it out, attach the receipt to it that they got from the organization, send it to me, and I hold it. And then in September, I check to make sure that they attended. If they did, then the city where our program will reimburse them 50% of the cost.
And that's a great deal. But there's a top limit to that as well, 50% of a certain number.
Well, no, if it's a big family,
okay,
and they want to do a family deal, I couldn't think of a better way to spend money.
Okay, very good.
So, and then, if the money starts to disappear quickly,
this is first come, first served.
There'll be another email going out saying you better hurry because you're almost out of.
And it's very popular, and they fill up really quick.
Right,
really quick.
right.
In fact, not only does the reimbursement fill up pretty quick, but the classes are starting to fill up.
I called both organizations yesterday, and they said yes. We opened them up. They opened them up a little bit earlier than I expected, so some are already completely full.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that people need to go, if they're interested in this opportunity, to go to these organizations. I do have contacts, information on my homepage. They can click on it. They can figure out who to call.
Yep.
And the links are there to go and figure out what programs they want.
Yes, and the important part is there's some information available on your website.
Right.
And
on the homepage, just
right
there.
Just come and look at it, take a look, and if you're interested, there's a lot of information out there, and Wright will really help you out if you have any questions.
Exactly.
As well.
And the other program that you have to register for if you want to participate is the citywide yard sale. That's going to be May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd, always the first Saturday in May. We do have a major change. The group site will no longer be at Kemper Meadow Park. It is now on Central Avenue in Central Park. Mm-hmm. We're going to have people set up in the parking spaces of Central Avenue. We're going to block it off. People will be able to walk in between.
Yep.
All the people selling. It's more like a festival type of thing.
More like a summer fair or a flea market. Not a flea market, but more like a farmer's market.
Right. We already have like 15. We started promoting it a week ago. We already have 15 people registered, and a lot of them are already signing up for Central Park. Mm-hmm. We've got some people who are going to be providing food. Mm-hmm. So it should be a great. If the weather would hang with us. It better cooperate. We haven't had really good weather. 2 years ago it was beautiful.
Yep.
Last year it hit us at 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you've got to register so I can know where you're going to be, so I can promote where your
and the spots are limited because there's only so much room on that street.
There's only so much room on the street, so get them out. Again, all this information is on my homepage. Go for it, print out the form, and send it in.
And if they don't want to come to that location, they can still register for the citywide yard sale and have it at their own home.
If they like it at their home and it's a good location, our central site is really for those that are in areas that don't get much traffic.
It's hard,
Yeah. So other people, they can go to a church. If they have a congregation that wants to all get together, they can have it at a church.
They can even have their home street. They can
their home street, their neighbors. That's the first time we had it. People were letting us know that this was such a great program because they got to talk to their neighbors.
It's a good opportunity to say, hey,
right,
go out and meet your neighbor because you may not know them.
Right, exactly. So it's a win-win-win. People get some money for cleaning out their house.
And that's the important part. Get that stuff, get it out, bring it out. Sell it if you can.
Right.
And then you can donate it as well.
Exactly, because we're going to have a trailer from St. Vincent de Paul. It's going to be in the parking lot behind the fire station. We are always there. If you have stuff you don't want to take back into your house, because I know you...
Once it's out,
it's out. Bring it to the trailer. We'll pack the trailer up and send it to St. Vincent de Paul, and they'll donate it to their
worthy
people.
That's good. That's a great program, and it serves a lot of people, and it's also a lot of fun to get the community together.
Oh, it's great, and I get to talk to people when they bring their stuff to the trailer. And since the group site is just right down the street from the trailer, I'll be able to mosey up and down and see how that's going as well.
So that's great, and they can hang out at the park as well.
Right.
The park will be open then. So it should be a great day, and we hope that we get the great weather as well.
The weather, everybody think good weather.
One of the things that came up at the last council meeting, and we've had a couple of, I'll call them complaints, but definitely some serious questions, serious conversations about coyotes. We've had a couple of instances where they've attacked young, small dogs. And so maybe you've dealt with this, and you've even had some shows about it, and some programs about the coyotes in the neighborhood. Maybe you tell us a little bit about some of the things that we need to know that we don't know.
Well, I got to know coyotes really well when I was out west.
Oh, okay.
And I have learned that there are one of the smartest animals and most adaptive animals that are on this planet. They're everywhere. They have been seen walking down Central Avenue in New York City. I mean, so they're everywhere. So seeing them in Forest Park, that's not a surprise. What we can do about them, we really can't cage them. You can't shoot them in your backyard. You know, they're there. What we can do is try to minimize the interaction between people, pets, and the coyote.
You got to be aware of your pets when you let them out at night.
You've got to be aware of your pets. Now, there are some things that you can do to minimize attracting them to your area. I am putting together an information packet that I'll be sending out through email, through Facebook,
be on our website,
our website, and also next page.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So we'll be sending all that out, and you're free to call me, and I can direct you to some other people. But I'm putting together a list of people that you can call who knows about the animal, what you can do. It's the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the great parks of Hamilton County. There's some individuals there that I'll be listing and phone numbers that you can call. We also put together with the help of Waycross Community Media 2 years ago, we put together Coyotes in Our Neighborhood seminar presentation.
And that was, we were probably one of the biggest attended seminars that you've offered. So there's a lot of interest in it, not only throughout Forest Park, but throughout the region.
It was well attended, and it was a well-timed thing because the city of Fairfield was going through what we are beginning to go through now. And a lot of their residents came up to see our presentation, and they said, I wish you had been at our council meeting with this information. And on that, it's an hour video, but it talks about the animal, its behaviors, what you can do to minimize it. But then at the very end of the video are other resources that you can contact to learn more. So I think the key to this whole episode is we need to learn more about this animal, what it wants, what it does, and what we can do to minimize.
Sure, you just don't want to have any, you don't want them around your property if you can. You don't want to attract them to your property. And you just need to be vigilant and aware when your pets are out, that in the evening, that that these things could happen.
Right.
So you just need to make sure that you keep them on a leash, you keep them close, and be aware of your surroundings more or less. Just like any kind of security, where you just need to be aware of your surroundings.
Right. And one very important thing to remember is they're more scared of you than you are of them.
Sure.
So if you go out there, you're big, you're a lot bigger than they are, and they will run. But if they see maybe a small little animal like a cat, we did get a call about somebody was feeding feral cats that were just loose in the neighborhood. Well, their numbers are declining. You can imagine. But he's feeding them. He's putting cat food out in the yard, so the food is attracting the coyote. And then the cats are attracting the coyote until the cats
have attracted enough coyotes
that won't be a problem anymore. So these things happen, but we can do things. But the first thing is to learn about the animal, then learn what we can do to prevent it.
Please don't put food out. Make sure your garbage cans are covered. Things like that.
Right.
Just be aware of things that you can do, and we can put a link up to that video. We'll probably put it on our website.
Right.
Maybe we'll send it out in our newsletter. And just again, it's a couple years old, but it's still relevant.
Oh, it's the information has not gone bad. It is an excellent one, and the videotaping was, of course, excellent.
Yeah, I want to thank Waycross Media for that. And again, we have a lot of videos out there on Waycross Media. So if you're interested in old council meetings, any kind of rights, all of your programs have probably been.
They're all listed on there.
All listed. So there's a lot of programs out there, a lot of history. So if you're interested in some of those old programs, it's a lot of good information. Again, they're at Waycross Media. We want to thank them for everything they do for our community. They're filming this right now as well, so I want to thank them. So let's talk about energy aggregation. That seems to be one of the things that will be coming up here over the next month or two. And you get a lot of calls on it. And you're going to get even more calls as we start to change
Right.
and update the contracts that are coming due now. So tell us a little bit about the city's energy aggregation plan.
Okay, let's do a little history.
Okay.
The city tried several times to aggregate. And so in order for the city to be allowed to do that, it has to be passed by the residents on a ballot issue. And it was finally passed in 2018.
Okay.
Or 2019. And so we got energy consultant, as you well know, and we started contacting other energy suppliers. And our first energy contract, it was electric aggregation contract, was in 2020. The goals of the energy aggregation programs, there are two primary goals. One is to basically stabilize the energy prices. How many times have you seen prices go up? They very seldom go down, then they go up again. And so Duke Energy does not generate their own power. They have to go out to auction and buy their power too. So if you're a Duke Energy customer and Duke Energy supplies you with the energy, you will see that they will fluctuate.
And that's based on the price of energy that they're paying at that time.
At that time when they go out to auction.
So it's really market driven right then and there.
Right
so
then and there.
They're subject to fluctuations of the market.
Right. So you really don't know what it's going to be 4 months from now.
Yeah.
If you're with Duke. And they're a very good company. But in order for the cities for PUCO, which is the regulating energy organization for the state, they allow Duke Energy and all the energy suppliers to be unregulated, but it also allows the city to say, okay, if you're going to unregulate all these utilities, then the city gets to choose who you want to use.
Correct.
And so what we did was we got a contract in 2020 with Constellation for 3 years. It was a big success. And then after that contract ended, we went with Energy Harbor, which is
still
who we
success.
have now. But that contract ends in May. And so right now we're in negotiations to find another energy electric supplier that will start in May. And we think it might be a 1-year contract because the markets are so volatile right now. It might be the best deal. And the important thing about it is, like I said, the one goal that we just talked about was stabilization. We were under Duke Energy's cost for electricity for all 5 years.
Yes, that's important. The citizens voted on it. They put it in. This is a great program that the citizens basically allowed us to do.
Right.
Because they said yes on the vote. And we've been able to provide energy at a rate that's, number one, the price is stable.
Stable, fixed rate.
It's only gone up once in 5 years.
Right.
It's 3 years, and then
that was because of the contract, and everything went up there.
Yep. The contract ended. It went up again and stayed stable for 2 more years, and that's coming up in May. And during that same 5-year period, we've always been below Duke.
Right, and that was the second goal. It's not only do we try to stabilize it, but we also try to reduce it.
Yes. And we've been very successful. How much have we saved the community?
In the 5 years
the last
total,
5 years?
We just got the fourth quarter for 2024. So basically for the 5 years, we've saved the community as a whole over $2.8 million.
That's amazing. That's $2.8 million
That's
in our citizens' pockets.
Right.
Because of this plan. And it's a plan that they said yes to.
Right.
So it's their plan.
Right.
And we're just administer it.
Right.
So it's a great plan. It's been very successful, and we want to continue to do it, even if it didn't save that much money. But being able to have to know that what you're going to pay each month.
Right.
Yeah. If you use more, it goes up, but the cost of that energy is the same. So if you put 10 gallons of gas in your car at $3 a gallon, it's $30. Or if you put 20 gallons of gas in your car at $3 a gallon, it's $60.
Right.
But it's still
So
$3
much
a gallon.
A gallon.
Yeah, so
Right.
we're trying to get the per gallon or the per kilowatt.
Right.
In terms of the electric side of this.
Now, I have been getting a lot of calls, expectedly, that it's been very cold this winter.
Exactly.
And energy rates have, well, not energy rates, energy bills have gone up.
Energy usage.
Usage
But
has
the
gone
rate's
up.
the same. It's just
The
more
rates are the same. And what is important to get across to people, they think, because they don't really understand how the bill is structured, that the aggregation program is the cause for the higher prices, and that's not true.
It's actually the cause for the lower prices.
It would have been higher if it wasn't for the aggregation.
Yes.
So what we would like to do is maybe just quickly go over how to read your bill and,
Okay.
and what the aggregation program affects and what it doesn't affect. So we do have a bill here from one of our staff members, and it'll be, as we talk about it, I'm sure it's going to be shown a little bit on the screen. But basically what it is, your bill is divided into two parts. Okay? The first part, aggregation does not affect. It has no, it's still Duke Energy's control.
And that's basically the cost of getting the energy to you, the lines, the generation, everything else.
It's called distribution or delivery cost.
Okay.
And so that is the cost for electricity, for the wires, for the poles, for the transformers, anything that goes from where it's being generated across the country to your house. So whatever infrastructure you have to put in place and maintain, Duke Power gets to decide how much, and these are all in delivery and distribution costs. Aggregation doesn't touch it.
That's correct.
For natural gas, it would be the pipes. Same thing, piping it from where it starts all the way to your house. That is distribution and delivery costs. That's aggregation again, does not change. What aggregation affects is what it costs. Once the energy enters your house and you use it, that's when aggregation kicks in. And it's how much the rates are per kilowatt hour for electricity and CCS, which is cubic feet of gas, for natural gas. And so
we do have two programs, the natural gas program
and electric.
But the electric program is the one we're kind of talking about today because that's coming up.
That's the one that we're trying to get a new contract for. So for Duke Energy, for electric, Duke Energy is charging you per kilowatt hour 8.18 cents per kilowatt hour.
And that's the distribution charge.
No,
that's
the aggregation cost.
That's the aggregation
That's the rate for using 1 kilowatt of electricity that enters your house.
Okay.
Okay? Not the delivery charges to bring it in, just what you use in your house.
Okay.
And that's aggregation right there.
Correct.
Okay? Our aggregation cost is 6.77 cents. So it's about a penny and a half
But percentage-wise,
difference,
that's
lower.
significant.
If you're using an average of 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, so that's like $13 a month that you save.
Times 20,000 people or
It adds up.
every household
Right.
that's in it. Now, you're not required to be in it, but
Right.
the
And that's
majority
important.
the majority of folks in the community are in the aggregation, but you can opt out.
You can. We made sure that in our contract, and when this first started, when the aggregation process first started in the early 2000s, it was difficult. You had a period of time that you could opt out, but once that time passed, then you were locked in.
There was a window, and then once you missed the window's shut.
You were there. But now you can opt in and out anytime you want to.
And this is
at no cost.
That's one of the provisions that we
Yes.
sure was in our aggregation plan and in our contracts.
Right.
That we can get in and get out.
People can do it, and if you have trouble doing it, all you do is contact the aggregation person, the Energy Harbors for Electricity, says, I don't want to be a part of it, I want to go back to Duke. You call them up, make sure you have your bill in your hand because they might ask you some information off your bill.
Sure, they have to verify that you're you.
Right. And then it takes about a month or 2 months to get back to Duke, and then you're fine.
One of the things that, again, talking a little bit about that security thing, is that we need to be careful as citizens about giving out our bills and letting people see our bills.
I have gotten phone calls of people saying, this person just knocked on my door, he wouldn't leave, he wanted the information on my utility bill.
Very aggressive.
Very aggressive, said that the city okayed him to do this.
And we haven't.
And we haven't, because we haven't vetted anybody to go soliciting since the pandemic,
Correct.
from my understanding. And so if anybody's knocking on your door and they're trying to solicit something, you know it's not from the city. You can also put a no solicitation
Yes.
sign right in your window by your door,
Mm-hmm.
so you can just point to that and say you're not supposed to be here. Read this sign.
Call the police.
Call the police, and I have called the police to
And
say
they'll come.
somebody's walking around in this area. Go check them out, but never over the phone or in person, or maybe there's a table in a store.
Yep.
Offering a special deal, and it looks great. Be very careful. Don't give out your information. Take the information home with you maybe. Read the fine print. See if there's any termination fees. See if it's an introductory offer and the price is going to go sky high after
Yeah, a lot of
maybe
those
3
introductory
years, 3
offers,
months.
they offer you like 3 cents a kilowatt hour, and then all of a
Then
sudden
2 months later, it's variable rates, and you're just destroyed.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 times higher what you would pay through the
Right,
aggregation.
right. So this program, it provides you with, you'll know what you're going to be paying per kilowatt or per cubic feet of gas. We're going to try to make sure that it's lower than Duke's, but we can't guarantee that, but that's our goal. And you can get in and out of it anytime you want to with no fees.
Because we're going to lock in the rate for a 2-year period or a 1-year
Or
period,
whatever our-
depending where it's best in the market.
Right.
We're going to lock that rate in. That'll be the rate stabilized for that period. Duke's rate will vary
Right.
each month.
Well,
Or
it could stay the same
it
for
could
a
stay the
couple months
same.
and then it could move.
Yeah, but it varies significantly during that same 1-year time period. They're not going to fix it for a 1-year time period and guarantee
Well,
it.
they can't guarantee it.
They can't guarantee
because
it.
they got to go out to the auction and to the market.
Sure. They're basically bidding it out every month.
Right.
Or so when
Right.
their contracts expire.
Right.
And their contracts aren't as long as ours.
Right.
So yeah, be careful about sharing your information. Be careful about people coming to your door. Understand that you can get in and get out of this program as you see fit. Also, one of the things that we offer here at the city, if anybody has any questions, right, they can call you.
Right.
And you've sat down with numerous people and reviewed their bills and,
Right.
and gave them advice. You know, they can do what they want to do, but we can at least educate them.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Well, I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I will explain the bill to them and everything. Now, with this new contract coming up, there will be letters sent out to those people who are now Duke Energy customers or participating in Energy Harbor's aggregation program.
Correct.
Okay, so they'll be getting a letter probably in the first part of end of March.
Coming up. So
First
look
part
for,
of April.
Look for that letter.
We will have our city logo on it and the company's logo on it, but make sure that we have our city logo on it, and it'll explain everything of what the rates will be, how you can get out of it if you want to, because if you don't respond to it, you will automatically be moved in. This is an opt-out program, which means if you're with Duke or with our aggregation program as is, you will be moved into this program. And if you don't want to do that, then you need to call the number that's in the letter, and they will say, okay.
It's that simple.
Is that
no
simple?
questions asked.
No fees, no nothing.
No fees, no nothing. But be careful. When people aren't going to get a letter who are not in Duke or not in the aggregation right now.
That means that they've got another aggregation program somewhere, and if they don't know that they do,
Yeah.
I would recommend really looking at your bill. If you want to call me and say, I want you to come by your office, please do. I've had some people that were paying 12, 13, 14 cents per kilowatt hour when ours was 6 cents. So, and they didn't understand how they even got on that program.
Well, there's a scam where people, if they get your information and you didn't sign up for it, if they got it,
they can move you wherever they want to.
Anyway.
Right. So please, if nothing else, next time you get your Duke bill, really look at it and try to understand it. And if you need any help, just give my office a call.
Remember, there's two things. There's the distribution charges that are basically
and delivery charges.
And delivery charges, which is
All
basically Duke.
It has nothing to do with us.
And then you get down to the next section that talks about your usage, and that's where you'll see the aggregation cost.
Right. Energy Harbors for right now for electricity, and AEP Energy for natural gas.
Yep. And once those are our charges, or the charges that are in the aggregation, and we're in the process of bidding out the energy now for the next period of time. It's going to be coming up in May, and we'll be going probably 12 months, maybe a little longer. And there may be a different company there.
There might be a different.
name.
Might
Just
be
depends on who has the lowest and best bid.
Right.
And we want to make sure that that they might see a different name come June or July in there. In fact, but it could still be the same. So don't be disturbed and think, oh, wait a minute, how'd that happen?
Right.
The bottom line is we'll let you know who it is, and we'll send out that information once we know who the lowest and best bidder is. It could be the same carriers.
Right.
But again, coming up in May, there will be increases. We know that. Think about where over the last 2 years, what's happened to energy, what's happened to electric, what's happened to gas. There will be increases. Expect those increases. We're looking at significant increases, quite frankly, but those are driven by the cost of energy in the market, not by the aggregation program.
And there's one more thing that's very important. I've had 1 or 2 people call and says, well, what is the city getting? What revenues are the city?
And the answer to that is
zero.
Nothing.
We're not getting an administration fee or any kind of coordination fee, no fees. It is strictly the citizens program.
All the stuff that Wright talks about, he's doing, the information, our actions, everything that the city does, we don't take it. We don't add a penny to
the aggregation program at all.
So it's based. A lot of cities do.
Yes.
And we don't. So we're trying to keep it as cheap as we can for the citizens, stabilize those rates, and provide a good value for our community that they can really say, okay, that's going to be my rate for the next year or 2 years or whenever. We've used the whole city's buying power, this whole group, and the regional buying power to drive down those rates and negotiate great rates for everyone. And we think it's a great asset to the community, and we look forward to continuing. And we will thank the citizens for actually voting on it.
Right.
Because I think they did, whoever voted yes for it, they did everyone a favor because the city's in it as well. You know, we're in the same aggregate, we pay the same rates. And so it's worked out for everyone over the last year or so. So, right? Well, thank you for being here.
It was a pleasure.
Again, more information on our website. Check that out. Contact Wright if you want more information about his programs, some of the things that are going on in our community. Again, pay attention. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Nextdoor. Sign up for these things. Sign up for our newsletter as well. Our website has a lot of great information. So, again, we want to thank you, Wright, for coming, and everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week. Stay safe and good luck, Lady Warriors and boys varsity basketball.